you can join us for Chapter 3 of the Kids Connection. I'm Pam.
And I'm Jim.
And we're going to do a lot of really neat and fun things today. But before we start, I want to tell you that two of our friends at home, Zaki and Jabril, have sent us some of their drawings, and I want to show them to you. So they sent us a thank you, and on the back of the thank you, they drew for us a picture about the importance of washing your hands, especially now during the pandemic. So they have here, the faucet, the hot and cold water. There's a picture of the soap, and down here are the hands with the soap on. They're washing their hands. And remember, during the pandemic, when you come inside from outside, it's really especially important to always wash your hands. Thank you guys so much. That was really helpful. Zaki also made a picture for us. Remember the gnome who had to stay at home? Well, in this picture, it looks like Zaki is drawing his own home. And he has a car coming down the street and some beautiful trees. This is really beautiful. Thank you, Zaki. He also drew us a picture of a building that I think might be the building in which we normally hold our programs. But since we can't go there right now, we're coming to you through video. But he also put on this picture him and his brother and his dad coming into the program each week. That's a really nice drawing. We talked about the letter B, and with the letter B, how the little gnome became bored. Well, when we drew the letter B, we turned it into a bear. So Jabril cut out a bear for us. He colored it. He drew these little pads on the bear's feet. I think that's so cute. And he did a really good job of reminding us about the bear and the letter B. If you have a drawing that you made or that you'd like to send to us, we're going to put our address at the end of the program. So you can send us your drawing, and then we'll show it on our next program. Now, remember, Jim, last time we did some new things, and they were all very fun, and we're going to review a couple of them. The first one was a song. It was Step, Step, and we're going to sing it with our drum. But first I'm going to remind you what the tune was. It went da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. So here we go. Okay. Step, step, steady feet. We are marching down the street. Right, left, here we come. How we like to play our drum. Now you sing it with us at home. Step, step, steady feet. We are marching down the street. Right, left, here we come. How we like to play our drum. That was fun. Now we're going to go over, remember we did a nursery rhyme about a cat and a fiddle? Well, here we go again. Ready? Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Let's try that again. I think I made my cow and my moon a little high. Let's try to do it again and get them so you can see them. All right. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Cool. Do you remember our friend Betty Botter, who bought a bit of butter? Let's go back and do our tongue twister with her. Betty Botter bought a bit of butter. But, said she, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter, that would make my batter better. So Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter, and she put it in her bitter batter and made her bitter batter better. That's a lot of B's. But I'm going to say it again, and you can try to say it with me at home. And then I'm going to try to do it fast and see if my tongue gets twisted. But first, let's do it together. Betty Botter bought a bit of butter. But, said she, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter, that would make my batter better. So Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter, and she put it in her bitter batter, and it made her bitter batter better. All right, you ready? Here we go. Betty Botter bought a bit of butter, but, said she, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter, but a bit of better butter, that would make my batter better. So Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter and put it in her bitter batter and made her bitter batter better.
Welcome back. So now we have a new clapping game. It's called England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Those are 4 countries that you can find sometime on a map. All right, here we go. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Inside, outside, donkeys, tails. Should we try it again?
Yes.
England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Inside, outside, donkeys, tails.
Now let's do it with you at home.
All right. Here we go. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Inside, outside, donkeys, tails.
Let's do it one more time, a little faster if we can.
A little faster. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Inside, outside, donkeys, tails.
That was fun.
And the more you practice, the better you'll get, and you'll be able to go faster, and that's where some of the fun comes in. But it's fun to make mistakes sometimes, too.
And you can find your brother or sister, or maybe your mom or your dad will do it with you. Okay. Remember our verse?
Oh, our verse that we did last time, yeah.
It was a new verse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes like this. And it's good to say this sometimes. I like to say it in the morning, maybe, when I wake up. Helps me start the day. You could try that.
Cool.
Okay. Good morning, dear earth. Good morning, dear sun. Good morning, dear trees and the flowers, every one. Good morning, dear beasts, birds in the tree. Good morning to you. Good morning to me.
Now let's do it again, and you can say it with us at home. So here we go. Good morning, dear earth. Good morning, dear sun.
Good morning, dear trees and the flowers, every one. Good morning, dear beasts and birds in the tree. Good morning to you,
and good morning to me. Do you remember last time we told a story about the gnome who had to stay at home and was bored? And that gnome lived under a tree. And after he was there for a few weeks, and he was so bored he couldn't think of anything to do. And he looked out the window and he saw the ants and he saw the beetles, and the tree would whisper to him and would tell him.
It made him sad to have to be stuck at home.
It did. And what did the tree say to him?
The tree said, "Things will change soon. Just trust me."
Right. So sometimes we have to wait and be patient for things to be different. And after we talked about the story, then we talked about ideas that the gnome could do at home, like somersaults across the living room.
Or pretending, or cooking with their mom, or playing board games.
Playing with their Play-Doh, or drawing pictures with their crayons. And getting their at-home friends out. Remember our at-home friends, and we have a couple new ones, and how those friends can sometimes be our playmates when our other friends can't come over. So today we have a really special story about a very large tree.
Here's another story about a tree. I will get to our tree. But first, a tree needs land, soil, water, and a world to grow in. The world has to come first. You may have wondered, how did the world begin? How did we get here? Where did we come from? There is a tale Vikings told each other, and it goes like this. A long time ago, before televisions or video games or schools, or even before hammers, horses, garden hoses, there was nothing. Nothing. Like the feeling in your stomach when you get up in the morning and you're hungry, or like the hopeless feeling you have when you don't know what to do next on a rainy day, and you're sure there's nothing fun to do anywhere. It sort of makes you want to fall down on the ground and lay helpless, and then probably fall asleep. That's a little bit like what we mean by nothing. This nothing is like the biggest hole in the ground you have ever seen. Turns out, beside this giant hole were two places. One was an enormous volcano which spewed fire day and night. It was hotter than the sun. On the other side was a place of freezing cold, like when the wind blows and it's snowing and it makes your teeth chatter. You see, the fire and the ice came together, and somehow magically, the hotness of the heat and the freezing coldness of the cold, they mixed and they made a giant. A giant! And his name was Ymir. He was at least as big as the earth, and let me tell you, that's big. Actually, Ymir was too big, and he was like the first pancake you make in the morning, not really perfect yet and needing more work. Ymir's children, Odin, Vili, and Ve, turned out much better than he did. And so instead of throwing Ymir away, they decided to break him into pieces and use his body to make the earth. They made the grass from his hair. They made the huge mountains from his bones, and boulders and rocks from his teeth. They made the oceans and rivers from his lifeblood, and his head formed the round dome of the sky. And out of this earth, everything grew, and people and animals appeared. And it was into this world a gigantic tree was born, named Yggdrasil. This is the world tree. Its top reaches through the blue sky up to heaven, where the Viking gods live. Its roots go down under the ground into the dark underworld. And its trunk and branches are here on earth where we can see them. This tree is bigger than the tallest building in the world. No one could climb it, not even a monkey. It's too big. Now at the top of this tree up in heaven lives an eagle. This gigantic bird is very serious and awesome. His feathers are shiny. Honestly, if you saw him up close, you would be scared. If he landed on your home, it would seem like a jet plane landed outside. And at the very bottom of the tree, down at the roots, lives an enormous dragon named Nidhogg. His body slithers around like a giant worm and leaves a glistening slime trail just like a slug. He chews on the roots of the world tree, which hurts the tree and could make it sick. And did I mention the squirrel? Yes, there's a squirrel. His name is Ratatosk, and he is so fast. He's probably faster than you are, even when you're wearing new sneakers. He likes to spend his whole day running up and down the tree. Sometimes the dragon will say something rude about the eagle, like, "The eagle is nothing but a bird brain." And Ratatosk will take that bit of gossip all the way to the top and deliver it to the eagle. Then, the eagle will compose a message for his slimy opponent, like, "Tell the worm his breath stinks." Ratatosk would tuck that note in his memory and scurry down the tree. Down, all the way down, like the longest elevator ride you ever took, down to the cellar in the tree roots to give to the dragon. And this back and forth goes on all day, every day. You don't get to see all of this back and forth because we live around the middle of the tree. We live up on land, not below the earth, and not way up in the sky beyond the clouds. We walk on the ground. And when Odin and Vili and V made the world, they put up a fence made out of Ymir's furry tree-like eyebrows. And so we never really get to see what goes on out beyond the borders. But many people say there are giants that live beyond the borders on the other side. These giants are really big, and they like to play rough. Sometimes when they play, they like to destroy things. And so things like the Grand Canyon are really just indentations where one giant knocked another one over and went boom like a giant bomb. Some people say that out beyond the eyebrow fence, there are elves and dwarves. The elves protect the plants and animals, and trees and streams. Only really honest and good people can see them. And the dwarves, they make beautiful things that shine and have gold and silver and pearly stones in them. They live under the ground, and they like to mine with hammers and use fire to bend iron and make swords and trucks and other useful tools. Well, now you know what the Vikings say about how the world came to be and how it operates. I bet you have a lot more questions though too. We can't answer them all today, and there's always more tales like this to tell. So next time you go outside, see if you can spot Ratatosk the squirrel, or see if you can find the world tree. If you listen really closely and quietly, you might hear the world tree whisper you a message in the rustling of its leaves. All right, welcome back. Oh, you've got a package.
I do.
Okay.
Came in the mail.
Cool. I love this stuff.
A paper bag.
Oh,
I wonder what
okay.
that's for.
I know.
Okay. And a glue stick.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And a little baggie with some little something in it.
Little colored paper bits. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, inspired by our tree story today, we're going to make our own tree. Are you ready for this? Now, to do this, you'll need a scissors. And the one I have works very well, but it's a little sharp. If you have a kid's scissors at home that's a little bit rounded, that would be good. And if you don't, you might want mom or dad to help you with the cutting. Okay, we want to be careful. So, the first thing we will do is take our paper bag, and one side is the bottom, like that, and one side is the top, and that's where you would usually put your lunch. And that's what we want, the open part at the top. And what we're going to do is make a few cuts with our scissors to make the branches. Okay, it looks like this. So make a cut, and then make another, and just keep going back and forth, making cuts like that. They should all be about the same, as close as you can get. Don't worry if they're not perfect. Okay, fantastic. Now, we'll just let them go for now. And now we're going to make the trunk, the middle part. And we want it to look more like a tree, so we're actually going to take it and twist it in the middle. Now be careful. This is a paper bag. This could rip. So if you do it too hard, you might tear it in half. So just twist it a bit to make it look like a gnarled, bumpy tree trunk. Okay. And okay, that's okay for now. We might do more later, but that's pretty good. Now we're actually going to do the same thing to the branches. We want to twist them and make them look more real. So just take one of your branches and just start twisting back and forth. Now again, if you do this really hard, you might tear off one of your branches, okay? So try to do it without tearing it the best you can. Okay, great. We'll just keep going back and forth. And you'll notice when you cut these, there's kind of like little ones all together. See if you can grab a bunch of them at one time and twist them as a unit, as a pair. See if you can do that. Okay. I'm just going to keep going here, twisting the branches. And the fun part is they all turn out a little different. They kind of start to look like crazy hair, like when you get up in the morning, like my hair does. Okay. Looking good. Let's see. Yep. Okay, here's another one. Twisting, twisting. And, oh, here's the last one.
It looks, Jim, like every tree comes out a little bit differently.
It does. You know, when you see a tree outside, I mean, you know it's a tree, but they all look a little bit different. And that's the interesting thing. They're a little bit like people in a way. You know, we're all a little bit different, and yet we're all just people.
The same, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So great. So I did my branches. Now I'm going back to the trunk a little bit, making sure it's nice and twisty. Okay. Now we want it to hopefully stand up. So we'll put it down, and we'll try to flatten out the base, the bottom part. And sometimes you have to pull it apart a little bit, kind of puff it up. All right. And then maybe it loses its twist. So then maybe you have to go back again, twist a little bit. Just takes a little bit of, you know, fooling around with. All right. Now that could be fine. If you're happy with the shape of your tree, go for it. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks, right? This one, I like it, but I'm just going to maybe move the branches a little bit till it has a shape I like. Yeah, that's pretty good. I kind of like that. Excellent. Okay. Then what you can do, if you want, now you can leave it like that, it's your tree, but you also have your little colored bits here, and I'm going to take some of them and use my glue stick and glue them onto my tree. Let's see how this works. Here's my glue stick. Now your glue stick, it can be a little messy, right? So try as much as you can to keep it on your tree. Okay, maybe I'll put a little green one there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me pick a brighter color here. How about, oh, okay, there's one that's a little bit purple. Let's try that. Put it on a different branch. Maybe there. Oh, how about a yellow one? That would be good. Really, the colors are up to you. You pick whatever colors. If you want to use all the colors, you can do that. If you want to just use like all yellow, you can do that. Again, it's your tree. You decide what looks good to you. And again, it doesn't need a lot of glue. Just a quick brush, and it's ready to go. I think I'll put one right there. Okay. And now my tree wants to fall over, so I have to bend it back a little bit. There we go. Okay. And you can turn your tree around till it's facing you the way you want. Okay, let's put one. Oh, right there. Whoops, there it goes. Put one right there. Okay. Maybe one more. How about another nice big pink one? Now these could be flowers on your tree, or they could be interesting leaves. They could be anything you think they are.
Maybe fruit.
They could be fruit. Oh,
like cherries.
Great, or apples. Oh, I love apples. Wow. Right, some fruit grows in trees, some grows a little closer to the ground. Yeah, trees are amazing. The way they have flowers and fruit. Trees are really, they help the shade, they help keep us cool in the summertime. They're amazing for so many reasons. All right, and that's our tree.
Thanks, Jim. That was really fun. I love these trees. There's so many things you could play with them. You could put little gnomes under them.
We've made our own little forest. You know, paper bags are easy to find. You could make as many of these as you like, and it might take a little practice, too.
Yeah. So, why don't we do our little verse that we did the last time about doing our best?
Okay, yeah. There lives in me an image of all that I can be. Until I have become it, my heart is never free.
Let's do it again with our friends at home.
There lives in me an image of all that I can be. Until I have become it, my heart is never free.
We had so much fun today. We showed the pictures that Zaki and Jabril sent to us. And remember, we'll put our address at the end in case you want to send a picture. We reviewed our Step Step song and our Hey Diddle Diddle. We saw Betty Botter again and learned a new clapping game. We remembered our gnome who had to stay at home, and we learned all about the great tree and the Viking tales of times past. We got a package, we made our own tree, and we did our verses, the one about the earth and the sun, and the one about doing our best. So, next time, we're going to talk about the letter C. And remember how we did the line and the curve in our first and second chapters? Well, in our fourth chapter, today was the third, we're going to make the letter C. And we're going to have a story, and we're going to do a lot more fun things. So we can't wait to see you next time. Bye!
Bye!